حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلقكم منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. It's a common practice among Muslims to invite people over either for a wedding feast, the walima, or a aqiqah, or a breakfast or any other gatherings. And at times when people invite the Muslims, sometimes they decline the invitation even though it is obligatory for the person to attend or to accept these invitations. And at times it is impermissible for a person to accept invitations but they still attend. And it is because the Muslims, out of ignorance, do not know which invitations are obligatory to accept and which invitations are impermissible or haram to accept. In today's khutbah, I am going to talk about accepting invitations. When does it become permissible and obligatory to accept invitations? And when does it become impermissible to accept invitations? The Messenger of Allah said, حق المسلم على المسلم ست إذا لقيته فسلم عليه وإذا دعاك فأجبه. The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the rights of a Muslim upon another Muslim are 6, and one of those rights are when someone invites you, accept their invitation. The scholars, when commenting on this part of the hadith, accept invitations, they categorize into 2. Number 1, invitations that are obligatory for a Muslim to accept, and number 2, invitations that are recommended but not obligatory for a Muslim to attend. And the only invitation the only invitation that is obligatory for a Muslim to accept is the wedding feast, the walima. If someone invites you for a walima, the wedding feast, it becomes obligatory for a Muslim to accept and attend. However, if there are other invitations such as breakfast or barbecue, then it becomes recommended and not obligatory. The scholars of Islam, they said that it is obligatory to attend the walima, the wedding feast, because the Messenger of Allah said, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, if one of you is invited to a wedding feast, walima, let him or her attend. إِذَا دُعِيَ أَحَدُكُمْ إِلَى الْوَلِيمَةِ فَلْيَأْتِهَا رواه Muslim. The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the worst kind of food is the food of a wedding feast, in which the rich are invited and the poor are left out. Whoever does not accept the invitation of the wedding feast has disobeyed Allah and His Messenger, reported by Al-Bukhari and Muslim. شر الطعام طعام الوليمة يدعى لها الأغنياء ويترك الفقراء ومن ترك الدعوة فقد عصى الله ورسوله متفق عليه. The scholars, they said that what is meant by the words, the worst of food is the food of the wedding feast, meaning that the food of a feast to which the rich are invited and the poor are ignored. It does not mean that the food of any wedding feast, the walima, is the worst of food. So the Prophet is saying, when you invite people for a wedding feast, for a walima, don't invite only the rich people. Don't invite only the rich people because they might give you money, wealth. Also invite the poor people. If your uncle or your neighbor or your friends are poor, doesn't matter, invite them. And inshallah, Allah will bless that wedding and that marriage. However, the scholars have said that this obligatory invitation can become recommended if a person who invites you does not invite you by your name. For example, if someone says, can Mr. and Mrs. Saleh Hadi, for example, and their family please attend my son's wedding or my daughter's wedding this weekend, then it becomes obligatory for the person to attend because he mentioned them by name. If a person says, oh people of Mariam Center, can you please attend or can you attend my son's and daughter's or my daughter's wedding this weekend, then it becomes recommended and not obligatory because he should mention them by name. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In this khutbah, we learned that out of all the invitations, the only obligatory invitation that you should accept is the invitation of the wedding feast. The rest of the invitations become recommended and not obligatory. However, if a person does not invite you by your name, then it becomes recommended for you to attend that wedding feast. Inshallah, in the next khutbah, I am going to talk about when does this obligatory invitation and recommended invitation becomes haram, becomes impermissible for you to attend, even if it's a wedding feast. If a Muslim does certain things it becomes automatic haram for the person to attend these gatherings. May Allah increase us in beneficial knowledge. May Allah help us to be obedient to our parents. May Allah help us to memorize the Quran. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick reminder, inshallah. Next Saturday, we'll have our monthly community share a dish dinner. So at 5 p.m., inshallah. Remember to bring your favorite dish and another one to share with the community. Also, if you have any games, like outdoor games, you wanna have your kids play outside, you can do that as well. Also remember to donate for your Maryam Center Masjid. Inshallah, we are making a plan to finish paying the loan, or the remaining of the loan, inshallah, by the end of this year. So we need your support, and inshallah, we'll announce our fundraising dinner, inshallah, to finalize the whole payment for the loan on the masjid. Jazakumullahu khair.